do season 2 of podcasts in which I will read you this entire book. And I have 7 more of these coming. So let's get through this first one. I'm not going to bother to read all of them to you, but let's get through this first one at least. And now normally when I perform, I'm Buddha Z. You may know me under other names. When I teach Shaolin Kung Fu in my Shaolin Chi Mantis, Tai Chi Youth, or Buddha Kung Fu schools, my students call me Buddha Jen. And Jen is my Chinese family name. And so first, middle, last name is Shen-Lang Jen. Jen's my last name. But Chinese say last name first, so they actually call me Jen Shen-Lang. So anyway, that's how it works in Chinese. So Buddha Jen is the easiest thing to call me. But you're not my Kung Fu students, and I'm not going to teach you my Shaolin Kung Fu. I'm not going to teach you my Yang Tai Chi Chuan. I'm not going to teach you my Northern Praying Mantis. But I will teach you some cool stuff. I'll make you smarter. And I might point out how you're making some serious mistakes. So anyway, but let's have some fun. This is actually Buddha Z, as I say, instead of Buddha Jen. So I'm a little punky, but I'm still Kung Fu master, Zen master, Tai Chi Chuan master, Qigong master. I'm a whole bunch of masters still. But I really just don't want to... But I'm not teaching. I'm just kind of smacking you around with some words. That's, I guess, what I'm going to do here. That's what I feel like doing. And after all, they say if you do what you feel good about, it should come out pretty good. So hopefully this will come out pretty good. All right, so here we go. I got my new setup here. I'm actually in my office here, and I got my computer right in front of me. Now, the book we're reading is this one. And I'm going to make these podcasts kind of short, too. So this may be a long one because I'm going through a whole expose here. But anyway, the point being is that this book is a cool book. Yay, cool book. Written by me. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to read it to you. And I'm going to maybe explain it to you, but we'll keep it real short. So hopefully it'll be more inspiring that way. You'll get this short little thing, and hopefully it'll bubble in your brain and make you smarter. Like a lot of these things have made me smarter. This is me kind of sharing my smartness with you. All right. So anyway, I don't know what to do. I kind of planned this out. I marked in the book how far we'd make each episode. So let's just go by that. The name of the book is 4 Noble Truths Explained. What the heck's that? Well, we'll explain that. That's my job, is to explain that. In fact, the whole idea of this Buddha Z podcast is I'm going to explain things. I'm going to just stick to certain things that really need more explanation. All right, and it's written by Buddha Z, which we've already elaborated on. And this is book 1 of 8 of the original Buddhism of India. Does it say that on the end? Yeah, it says that on... Oh, everything I'm reading to you is actually on the cover there. Okay, this is the title page inside, so it kind of says the same thing. Got a whole bunch of bookmarks in here for various reasons. Okay, because I did the audiobook on this already. It looks like we just got to read this one page real quick. Oh, I just summarized. Okay, so here it is, nice and quick and sweet. What the heck am I going to do? Well, I'll tell you right now. This is the first of 8 books written by Richard Del Conner, Buddha Z. I hold it up like this, my chin up a little better. A Buddha Z to enlighten anyone who can read English. You can't read English. I don't know if there's going to be any translations. Sorry about that. With the wisdom within the 4 Noble Truths of the original Buddhism. The original Buddhism. That's important to remember. Created by Buddha Siddhartha Gautama over 2,000 years ago in India. So that's what this book, it's not talking about all the other offshoots and the Tibetans and the Japanese and the Cambodians. There's different flavors of Buddhism since it left India. So we're talking about the original, okay? Which they should all be in harmony with. All this information I'm going to give you should be exactly what they're going to teach you. But they just may say it differently, but should be the same exact thing, or it's not Buddhism. This is actually the heart of Buddhism. I'm showing you the very basic foundation of Buddhism. Anybody who doesn't teach this, know this, understand this, live by it, or benefit, or can teach other people, if they can't do any of those things, they're not really a Buddhist. They're not. That's the basics. You got to get past it. That's the kindergarten of Buddhism. All right, so let's get out of kindergarten here. All right, here we go. All right, so continuing along, 2,000 years ago is when this book was written. Well, actually, longer than that. Well, 2,000 sounds long enough. The succeeding books of this this Four Noble Truths Explained, this book series, will focus on explaining these Four Noble Truths and utilizing more information of Buddha Siddhartha Gautama, the original guy, to empower people to attain the benefits of self-discovery and self-improvement. Yeah. The only reason Buddhism ever worked is because this guy, the original Buddha, was super smart. I'm in awe of the guy. I really am. I'm supposed to be a smart person, but to be honest with you, I'm in awe of this guy. He's amazing. Okay, anyway, so let's continue. I just got to read you these 8 things here. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the book 1, which is this one, is going to basically talk about the original Buddhism of India. The next book, book 2, is going to actually elaborate on Noble Truth number 1. And Noble Truth number 1 is life includes suffering. And then we're going to elaborate, there's 4 of them, remember? And then book number 3 is going to elaborate on truth number 2, which is the end of suffering. All right, so suffering begins and suffering ends. Okay, that's 1 and 2. Okay, it's not that complicated, but if you can't get past this way to view life, you're just going to spin your wheels and suffer unnecessarily. So let's improve your life. Let's reduce the suffering. All right, and so that's what number 4, book number 4 is, which is going to teach you about Noble Truth number 3, how to end suffering. Okay. And the last book, number 4, what does it take to be a Buddha? What does it take to actually be a Buddhist? It's these 4 things that made Siddhartha Gautama a Buddha. One day he didn't know those 4 things. The next day he was a Buddha because he knew those 4 things. He didn't know them. He's not a Buddha. He knows these 4 things. He's a Buddha. You getting the gist? All right. So this last one, number 4, truth number 4 is how to live. Oh, I just kicked the camera. Did the whole world jump around on you? But anyway, I'm still in the frame. I don't know. Should I move it back? Yeah, I think we kind of lost some of my black background. Earthquake, yeah. Well, I am actually, to be honest with you, I am literally on top of the San Andreas Fault. I couldn't have picked a perhaps worse location because not only am I on top of the San Andreas Fault, but on the other side of it, I've got the Edwards Air Force Base. So if Korea decides to exercise some of their atomic might, that's going to be the first place they're going to blow. So I will have a quick and painless death, hopefully. But if the Koreans don't get me, the earthquake still could, because not only might I fall into the crack, but I'm on sand. I'm up here 3 times. I'm in Lancaster. I'm in the desert with all those Joshua trees. You'll see. I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos, music videos even with them, because they're just so cool. I love it. It's like being in the Flintstone age. But anyway, all these Joshua trees around here. But anyway, the point is it's all sand. And having had a wife who was actually in the Mexico earthquake, whenever that happened back in the 60s, she was driving to work and she told me all the stories about how that earthquake was. And I visualized it through her. I've got a real good visualization of what it was like to be in that earthquake. But the point being is that city was built on sand, and so that's why it behaved in a certain way. So I'm living on sand, so I'm like being in Mexico City. Yee, there's an earthquake, but more on that later. But the point being is I'm just trying to make fun, but hey, death is around the corner. In fact, one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm actually recuperating from colon cancer, which I had in 20 and 21, and then the chemo and the radiation I'm still actually suffering from. We got side effects, but I'm cancer free, I think. So anyway, and then last year I had both my hips replaced. So the last 4 years I've just been in pain and suffering. Talk about being a good Buddhist. I think I've had a great attitude, but considering I've had a really good attitude. Anyway, I'm building myself up. I'm making 800 videos for the Tai Chi Youth online school, and that's going to get me back in shape, because I got to tell you, I'm in the worst shape I've been in a century. I mean, it's, anyway, I got to rebuild my body. I got new pieces. I got metal parts in my body. So anyway, I got to rebuild myself, and I'm going to use my Tai Chi Youth 4-year program to rebuild my body into the cool martial artist I know I can be. And I'm 71 years old, and I haven't taught people over 70. So I had to just nobody ever 70 ever wanted to be in my Kung Fu program. But I'm anxious. I'm excited to do it. So watch what can happen. But if you're in bad shape and you're 70 years old, then, forget it. I don't want to give you a heart attack. But if you've lived an active life and you've been you're decent health, I don't know, maybe there's some criteria I can make in there, then I think this program would be great for you. As long as you don't have any serious limitations, I think this program I'm going to teach you is what I've been teaching kids in everywhere from kindergarten to, I did have one student who was 74 years old, but I cut her some slack. But I've had one student. Otherwise, most of my students were, we'll say 8 to 50. So I've taught a wide variety of people. And this program I'm doing right now is the best. And after I get through that, then I'm going to go back to making swords and doing all kinds of other stuff in my other schools. But if I can get through this 4-year Tai Chi Youth Beginner program, which has all kinds, it's got the staff basics, but it's got the Qigong, the self-defense, the Chin Na, the Tai Chi Youth. It's just an amazing program. I will be in excellent shape it might take me 4 years to do it because there's 4 classes a week. I don't know if I'll do 7 classes a week to do it quicker. But anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. Why am I getting all carried? I guess I'm all excited. I'm trying to figure out how to integrate it into my life. In fact, I've actually figured out a way to do that because I want to get these podcasts going because I can't afford any money for advertising. So these podcasts are literally my commercials, infomercials. So anyway, well, you'll see. I'm trying to keep them short. I think I'm going too long on this one already. I don't see a time on. Oh, here we go. 11 minutes and 24, 25, 26 seconds. I actually wanted to make these about 15 minutes at the max, maybe even 5 minutes or something like that. And I'm thinking about putting a song on the end of them, and I got all kinds of ideas on what to do there. So, and I got me. Now, me as Buddha Z, I've actually been inventing my own kind of heavy metal rap. From about 10 years ago. And then, in fact, a year or two before I saw this movie, a Lego movie, in which I think Batman was doing like heavy metal rap. Like, that's kind of close to what I was doing. So I don't think it really went over anywhere, but that was the only thing I've seen that's kind of similar to me, I think. That was about 10 years ago. But I thought, hey, that's kind of similar to what I'm doing. But anyway, the point being is that I might put that music on here. It's by Buddha Z. And I was trying to actually sell it to other people, and not do it myself. So Buddha Z, the artist, doesn't exist except for one song. I put one song out there to claim my name, The Four Noble Truths of Buddhism. It's the rough tracks that I recorded in my car when I was homeless back in 2014, 15 at the latest. 14, 15, I did a lot of stuff, guitar stuff. It was really fun. Those were fun years for me. But more on that later. Okay, so anyway, there might be a song on the end of this, which would make it like 15 minutes. So let's call it quits. Oh, now, if you've ever seen me perform live as Buddha Z, before the pandemic, lockdown or whatever, I was performing as Richard Del Conner, philosopher, poet, for a couple years. And then I started performing in the end as Buddha Z, or both. Because people knew me already as Richard Del Conner, philosopher, poet, but then I just kind of introduced myself as Buddha Z. I don't think it really mattered. Not like the billing was I don't even think it was in the newspaper. I don't know. But anyway, point being is I did a bunch of shows. It's Buddha Z. And so the poems are this first book. So the other books, it might not be as much poetry, because these were fun. I was trying to teach people the only way I could, which is I was a homeless poet. And anyway, the reason I was saying that is at the beginning and end of all my shows, I used to do the Lohan bow, being a Buddha of the Zen Buddhism. So as I've been sitting here, I've been trying to think. I didn't salute in formally, but if I was to, I would have to stand up. I just wanted to, I guess I should have figured this out before I came here. But if I was standing up and I get here so you can actually see my head, I'm backed up against my drapes here. Then what I would do is I would raise my hands. And because I'm a disciple of Bodhidharma, this is why you should never do this, because if you're not a disciple, you shouldn't tell people you are. There's a lie. So anyway, I'm a disciple of Bodhidharma. And as a result of that, I lower my left hand and I bow one-handed like this. And then at the end of my shows, I would, bow again. So there, you got your 2 bows. That was the beginning and the end. And the meat of the sandwich kind of fell out. You got that first. All right, so there's the 2 slices of bread at the end. Oh, and there may be some jam. I don't know, what are we going to call this? An apple. We're going to have a little a reward for you tagged on the end of this. I'm going to go ahead and just cut a whole bunch of these shows, and then I'll be editing them in a batch. So I honestly don't know what I'm going to do here, but I'm off to a good start. I got the book. I got you going. I got a good set. It looks kind of nice. I've just cut my hair. If you've seen me, all the videos where my hair was down to my nipples, that was about a week ago. I cut my hair. So I'm looking for my new Kung Fu Cowboy image, and Buddha Z never really had one. He was just... Anyway, so this works for Buddha Z. So, see you later. I'm sitting at the computer. What do? I'm turning it off over here.
A verse, something to make life better, not worse. It's the basics of Buddhism. Buddha's first trick. It's the 4 Noble Truths to make enlightenment quick. He figured out, sitting under a tree, that life will never be perfect. It includes some pain and misery. But that's alright, he said. Most of this pain is in your head. Don't give up if you're not dead. What you gotta do is understand that things don't always go as you plan. Toss them out. If they don't make you feel good, those expectations should be understood. Don't just put a bandage on your brain. Figure out the source of the pain. Seek the truth about you and your world. Decide how you fit. Seek that truthful pearl that brings lights to your eyes. Moves the clouds from your skies. Which brings us to truth number 2. Now that pain and suffering has become understood, you realize, that everything must end. All suffering is temporary. You either die, if it gets worse, or you improve and survive. So you're understood your suffering. You see the end to your pain. Ignorance will lead you astray, but what you've learned and what you know can visualize the end. So noble truth number 1 is accepting that life includes some pain. Noble truth 2 says it won't always rain. And noble truth number 3, we lead you to the cure. If it can stop the pain be dropped, you know this for sure. So now you seek the first cure, the quickest or the best. Instead of just complaining, you are on a quest. Answers that you seek may lead to other knowledge. Seeking the truth in life is our greatest college. Learn from interaction, success, and mistakes. Number 1, you accept the truth. Life can be bad. Number 2, you see that what's bad has an end. Number 3, you decide how this end can be had. So number 4 is the truth of success and prevention. Live a life that's good. Be as smart as you can. Be a good person, a good wife, a good man. The life you lead is the path you walk and how you talk. Choices are the crossroads of the path around the rock. There's going to be boulders, obstacles in your way. Choose the 4 Noble Truths to brighten your day.